During a Q&A with a 21-year-old African entrepreneur, President Obama gave his strongest backing yet for the concept of net neutrality.
Well, this is an important issue for all heads of state and government, not just in Africa, but around the world. Mm-hmm. The reason the internet is so powerful is because it's open.
Yes.
My daughters, 16 and 13, they can access information from any place in the world. Mm-hmm. They can learn about a particular discipline instantaneously in ways that when I was their age, first of all, I wasn't as motivated as they are. You know, I was lazier than that, but they do much better in school than I do. But they can, the world's at their fingertips. And what facilitates that, and what has facilitated the incredible value that's been built by companies like Google and Facebook and so many others, all the applications that you find on your smartphone, is that there are not restrictions, there are not barriers to entry for new companies who have a good idea to use this platform that is open to create value. And it is very important, I think, that we maintain that. Now, I know that there's a tension in some countries. Their attitude is, we don't necessarily want all this information flowing because it can end up also being used as a tool for political organizing. It can be used for as a tool to criticize the government. And so maybe we'd prefer a system that is more closed. I think that is a self-defeating attitude. Over the long term, because of technology, information, knowledge, transparency is inevitable. And that's true here in the United States. It's true everywhere. And so what we should be doing is trying to maintain an open internet, trying to keep a process whereby any talented person who has an idea can suddenly use the internet to disperse information. There are going to be occasional tensions involved in terms of us monitoring the use of the internet for terrorist networks or criminal enterprises or human trafficking, but we can do that in ways that are compatible with maintaining an open internet. And this raises the broader question that I had mentioned earlier, which is Africa needs capital. In some cases, Africa needs technical assistance. Africa certainly needs access to markets. But perhaps the biggest thing that Africa is going to need to unleash even more the potential that's already there and the growth that's already taking place is laws and regulations and structures that empower individuals and are not simply designed to control or empower those at the very top. And the Internet's one example. You've got to have a system and sets of laws that encourage entrepreneurship, but that's also true when it comes to a whole host of issues. It's true when it comes to how hard it is to get a business permit when a new startup like yours wants to establish itself. When it comes to Power Africa, there are billions of dollars floating around the world that are interested in investing in power generation in Africa. And the countries that are going to attract that investment are the ones where the investor knows that if a power plant is built, that there are rules in place that are transparent that ensure that they're going to get a decent return, and that some of the revenue isn't siphoned off in certain ways, so that the investor has political risks or risks with respect to corruption. The more that governments set up the right rules, understanding that in the 21st century, the power that drives growth and development in the marketplace involves knowledge, and that can't be controlled, the more successful countries are going to be.
I see. So just to clarify on the issue of the net neutrality, you're advocating for an open and fair internet, which within it has structure to ensure that the platform in itself isn't abused.
Well, there are two issues. Net neutrality, in the United States, one of the issues around net neutrality is whether you are creating different rates or charges for different content providers. That's the big controversy here.
Yes, naturally.
Right? So you have big, wealthy media companies who might be willing to pay more, but then also charge more for more spectrum, more bandwidth on the internet, so they can stream movies faster or what have you. And I personally, the position of my administration, as well as I think a lot of companies here, is you don't want to start getting a differentiation in how accessible the internet is to various users. You want to leave it open so that the next Google or the next Facebook can succeed. There's another problem, though. There are other countries, and I think this is what you were alluding to, that feel comfortable with the idea of controlling and censoring internet content in their home countries and setting up rules and laws about what can or cannot be on the internet. And I think that not only is going to inhibit entrepreneurs who are creating value on the internet, I think it's also going to inhibit the growth of the country generally, because closed societies that are not open to new ideas, eventually they fall behind. Eventually they miss out on the future because they're so locked into trying to maintain the past.